Mungu ibariki Tanzania, dumisha uhuru na umoja wake kwa waume na watoto. Mungu ibariki Tanzania na watu wake. Ibariki Tanzania, ibariki Tanzania, tubariki watoto wa Tanzania.
Do you want to learn, understand, love, and enjoy the beauty of physics? If the answer is yes, then this is the right place for you to achieve or to get the answer of that question step to step. My name is Olenjolai&Nekinyi. Simply, just call me Olenjolai. I thank God by His own grace, He has called me to be a national teacher of physics Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4. What do I mean? It means that I have a responsibility to teach physics Form 1, physics Form 2, physics for the Form 3, and physics for the Form 4. And also have a responsibility to teach you some other science subjects and basic mathematics in that ordinary secondary education. I'm a Tanzanian and I'm doing these programs by using the syllabus of the United Republic of Tanzania, and I thank God for that. And I would like to welcome all the national and international viewers who are watching these programs elsewhere in the world, because the subject of physics is a universal subject. For example, we in Tanzania, we have never discovered anything else, right? So we've never discovered it. We've never done any kinds of invention. But what we are learning, it has been discovered in some other countries across the world. So that's why I say that physics is a universal science subject. Physics is a theoretical and practical subject. Okay? So I would like to ask you to join me. I know you have so many questions about these programs if you're first time, but I'll give you a brief introductions and then we go inside today's session, which is session 3, and tell us methods of the charging a body as one of the concepts that we want our students to cover in static electricity. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all national and international viewers into one of our online schools that called Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Simultaneously, I'd like to welcome you into one of our official YouTube channels that's called Tanzania Online O-Level Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Wonderful. I want to tell you that I was asking God, why did He include me to these online schools when I was studying ordinary secondary education? Okay. Then the Lord said, okay, you didn't find it because the founder is you. So you have to experience the weaknesses of some other ordinary secondary or physical ordinary secondary school. So then when I ask you to establish what I want you to establish about online training in ordinary secondary education, then you understand that you are solving a real life problem. So I know you have so many questions, but let me answer just quickly 2 questions that are going on in your mind. Am I solving your problem? Am I teaching you? Or am I just presenting something new in your mind? So those are the questions. Am I solving your critical and complex problems of learning, understanding, and loving and enjoying physics? So those are the questions that you're asking yourself. And then you have another question. What if I make a decision today that to be a permanent and active student of TOOSO? Will I succeed in my national exams of the Form 2? The answer is absolutely yes. But you'll be proving day after day until you will find your satisfactions. So we are here to solve critical and common problems of most Tanzanians ordinary secondary students. They have vision that need the knowledge of mathematics and physics, chemistry, and biology, but they used to quit from physics and chemistry. Why? When they get into the Form 3, why? Because they found or they realized that physics is a difficult subject for them. According to my research of one of the school in town, in Dar es Salaam city in Tanzania, it's a kind of a huge school of ordinary secondary education, which actually can accommodate more than 1,000 students. Then I visited the class, or just I did a research of through the questionnaire of the Form 3 class. Then I found that there are 6 streams of the Form 3. It's only one stream that students of Form 3 used to study physics and chemistry. The other 5 streams, those students, they have quitted from physics and chemistry for the rest of their life. And then I asked you questions why. And they told me that we don't need to fail physics in our Form 4 exam. So that is a critical, common problem in Tanzania. I'm not sure about some other countries, but I believe the physics we are learning in Tanzania, it's a physics that other students are learning in Kenya. It's a physics that other students are learning in Egypt, in the United Kingdom. But maybe the issue is the educational system and the way of approaching. So that's the problems that I'm solving. So that's why I said I'm a national teacher. I'm teaching all the Tanzanian ordinary secondary students of the present generations and future generation. I'm also teaching international students because that's why I'm using the international language. So these contents will be actual that it will be helping students anywhere where the internet can be accessed, because we are providing these contents through the internet. Then another lastly question that you're asking yourself, what the visions of what the vision of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai? Yes, that's the good questions. According the question, that's the question which even ourselves we ask according to what the word of God say in the book of Proverbs 19, verse 18. It says that where there is no vision, people perish. If you don't have visions, Toso is going to perish. Myself at the front of Toso is going to perish. Other assistants, other teachers will join me, will be perishing. Our students also will be perishing. Our parents will be perishing, and our entire nations will be perishing. So it's better to have vision and remind and remember the vision we have, so that we cannot give up, or we cannot end along the way before reaching our destination. So we can end in a certain destination, but not our final destination. So this is the vision that we have. We have an assignment of teaching, training, incubating, mentoring, encouraging some Tanzanian students, some Tanzanian students, some Tanzanian Africans, and worldwide ordinary secondary students on how they can extract knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from the classroom instructions in physics, chemistry, mathematics, and later on biology, and even agriculture. You might have it, and combine that extractions or the products of that extractions with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that you are going to teach them to extract it from the Word of God in order to solve real life problems. So the main objective of the also is not only to help you to pass your physics Form 2 exams. It's not only to help the QT students, the qualifying test students who are completely private students. The main objective of the also is to see our continuing and even our graduate students solving real life problems. Even a small scale real life problems. Maybe some students has designed a small electric power in a particular place. That is okay for me. That's one of a main objective, or that is what we call a main objective of our of this online school. So I'll let you take just a few minutes also to present to you how you can register yourself permanently. Firstly, our registration is free, and it's a lifetime registration is permanent. You just, when you finish this registration process today, then you are done. Next time, so you'll be just joining us in session 3, session 4, session 5, session 6. We finish the static electricity, we got the current electricity, we go to other topics. Then you'll be just enjoying the one session after the other session without any kinds of hassling. The first is that we ask you to create or open a new email in case you don't have any. If you have any email, remember your password and username in case you forget either password or username and you fail to retrieve. Then you can make a decision to open a new email. Secondly, use your password and use your password and username to sign in YouTube by using your email, right? Then thirdly, we ask you to search for also in YouTube. Go to YouTube platforms and then don't write to also, because to also is abbreviations of what? Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. So what should you write in the search bar? The search bar, just write Tanzania Online O Level Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Then as you search it, you'll find our channel, our YouTube channel will prompt there. And what will you see? You'll see the round buttons, like kind of the big round buttons or intermediate round buttons with the national flag of Tanzania. With this national flag, this is our national flag. So you see, mean that the round buttons, which its color, inside of its color, inside color is what it, or color within it is of this national flag. So we ask you to, the first step, click that round buttons which contains the national flag. Once you click, then you find you're already in the school. So when you reach in the school, you see the horizontal toolbar which returns home. You see home right now, home. Then the other one is called the video. You see videos. Then the other one is called the playlist. Playlist. The other one is called the community, channel, about. Very important. So the next step, when you get into our schools, because now you're in our school, you only welcome all the pre-form 2, Form 2, QT students, Form 4, teachers who want to be teachers in order to train others. So you're only welcome. So go again, check at the bottom of your right hand side of this video, you will see a button written subscribe. Right? So when you see this button written subscribe, we ask you to click it once, and then the text will change into subscribing, and afterwards the icons of bell will appear. Click this icon of bell only once, then choose options of all. So from there, you have already finished the registration process. Then we'll get notifications whenever we add a new video. And I want to tell you that we are adding new videos every day. So we ask you to subscribe in order to get notifications. For example, in static electricity, we expect you to teach you more than 10 sessions. And this is session 3. So there are more than 7 sessions that still are coming. How will you get informed that right now session 4 is session 4 is uploaded, or session 4 is added into also and made it public? Because I can add a video in YouTube, in my YouTube channel, and I don't make it public. I can make it private. So once I make it public, then you'll get notifications once you are online. So I ask you also, just yourself, make sure, or if you want, or the best way you can cooperate with your parents, to make sure that you get an internet access every day, so that you may go into the talk also and check something new and learn it and keep it in your mind. Right? So why are you subscribed? So I think that I gave you the reasons of why should you subscribe. Then number 6, in order for you to access our contents without too much of hassling, we ask you click the buttons which reads and playlist at the top. Just go to the top. Playlist, and then search the playlist written static electricity. That playlist written static electricity. What the means of playlist? Playlist actually it's a functionality of the YouTube which allow we who are creating videos to collect some related videos and then give them the name in such a way that a viewer can watch one video after the other one. Right? That means of playlist. So we have one of the playlists is called static electricity. Another playlist is called physics for the Form 2. Right? So make sure that you access this one. So when you go to static electricity, you'll see all the videos that you record about the static electricity, and you redeem your time. To share these contents with your friends, because we know you'll enjoy these contents, we ask you to click the icons of share to share the link via the social media. Example, Facebook, WhatsApp, email, Instagram, Telegram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and TAYAI podcast. TAYAI. So those are social media that you can do the video sharing. But if you want, you'll be just sharing the link, so you don't need, even if some of the software here, they don't support the video sharing, but they can support the link, because link is text. Okay, so we'll give you some other 2 announcements later on, straight up to into today's session. I would like to welcome you into the Department of Physics. In the Department of Physics, we are teaching our students 4 subjects. We are teaching Physics Form 1, Physics Form 2, Physics Form 3, Physics Form 4. Only Physics Form 1 that we are teaching in English and Swahili language, and there's a reason for that. But Physics Form 2, Physics Form 3, Physics Form 4, we are teaching them in English language, because that is official language and it's a business language in Tanzania. So you have to learn how you can master stuff in English. Okay? So until the end of this, until we cover the subject of physics form 2, you'll be even yourself competent in speaking English, because you listen these words and then I explain what do I present. So these contents are for the pre-form 2 students, for the form 2 students, QT students, reciter students, for the teachers who are teaching form 2 basic mathematics or physics. But this is chapter 1, it's called static electricity. And this session 3, today I'm going to teach about method of charging a board and electrostatic. And these are the steps for you to register yourself. So make sure to copy these steps as quickly as possible, and you can share with other students so that we will be, because according to Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, the Bible say that my people are perishing because of lack of knowledge. So I've given you these descriptions of how you can register, because I know most ordinary secondary education students, they don't have experience in smartphones or iPhone. So that's why that I took that considerations. Or maybe have experience, but they have never used their smartphone, or their parents' smartphones, or their parents' iPhones, or their parents' iPad for studying the beauty of physics. So now there's a good news that they can use it effectively and learn something along. So then let us go. So the quick review, So quick review in previous session, and this previous session is entitled in session 1. So in session 1, we defined what the meaning of 40 static electricity. We say that this is the branch of electricity. So that is static electricity. We say it's a branch of electricity. It's a branch of electricity which deals with the study of the charges at rest. Then we dealt with about we have 2 types of charges in physics or in static electricity. We call it positive charge and negative charge. Then we discussed about the law of fundamental law of electrostatic, that like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other. So that's what we've been covered in the previous session. So basically what we have covered in the previous session, that is session 2. So session 2. So first of all, we define what is what. So what is static electricity? What is the static electricity? That's what we defined. And then she said that, okay, so static electricity, you have covered electricity. Then the other thing that you have covered, the other thing that you have covered is in this syllabus, the syllabus. So we defined then we said again, in static electricity, you have 2 types of charge. You have positive charge, which is positive Q, and also we have what? Have negative charge, which carries negative sign, negative Q. So that's what we've been discussing. We talked about fundamental law of what? Of static electricity. Do you remember? So we state that like charge repel is very important. Let me repeat this. We say that like charge repel. Like charge repel, while unlike charge attracts. While unlike charge attracts to each other. So that's a fundamental law of static electricity. Okay? That's the fundamental law of static electricity. So we say that if you have, for example, positive charge, and we bring close to a positive charge, then this will repel, as a means of repel. But if you have a positive charge, we bring together closer to the negative charge, then this one attract each other. So attractions, repulsions. So even if also you have negative charge, we bring closer to negative charge, these charges also will be repelling each other. Okay. So if that's the case now, let us continue. And the concept that we are going to cover today is about methods of charging a body. So before we discuss about the method of charging a body, let me teach you about charging a body. So it means charging a body. So charging a body means that we want to charge. It means that we want to take a charge and put into the body. So there we have a fundamental question that we like to begin with. Okay. So charging a body. So the fundamental question that we have is what is? So remember that these programs also can benefit qualifying test students who want to do a Form 2 QT exam. So if you are qualifying or a QT students, take this advantage and take it in a product. I will be with you, I will teach you, I will prepare you for your Form 2 exam, and I will prepare you also for your Form 4 exam. So you have to stay tuned and you have to keep loving physics for the rest of your life. So what is charging? What is charging? What is charging? What is the meaning of what is charging a body? What is the meaning of charging what? A body. So the answer is charging a body is a process. So charging a body is a process. Charging a body is a process of either adding or removing electrons. Adding or removing electrons from what? From a body. Adding or removing electrons from a body. So charging a body is a process of either adding or removing electrons from a body. So if we can add the electrons into a body, or we can remove electrons from a body, that process we call charging. Let me clarify. So it means that charging a body may be adding what? From that definition. Charging a body may be adding what? Electrons into or onto, not into, onto a body. Again, charging a body may be removing electrons. So maybe the process of what? Removing electrons from a body. So charging a body may be adding electrons. So this may be a process of adding electrons onto a body. And charging a body may be the process of what? May be a process of removing electrons from what? From a body. So charging, we may add electrons onto the body, or we may remove electrons from the body to another body. So that's about charging, right? So when I will be teaching you about methods of charging a body, you have to know that in these methods of charging a body, we are either adding electrons onto another body, which does not contain electrons, or we may be removing electrons from one body and then adding to another body. Or it may be both of them, adding and removing. But in most cases, it's what? Adding. Okay. So please, you can pause the video and then stop the video and then copy this in steps so that you keep in your mind. Keep in your mind how you can access these contents. Okay. So we have now, let us focus, so we know the meaning of charging a body, so let us focus on what methods of what? Method of charging. Let's focus on method of what? Methods of charging a body. What are the methods of charging a body? So we say that in static electricity, there are three main methods of charging a body. These are, the first one, we call it charging by, so you can charge a body, charging by friction. And we are going to study all of these three methods. Charging by friction. That's the first method. The second method, we can charge a body by charging by what? Direct contact. So charging by direct contact. Charging by direct contact. Then the third method of charging is we can charge by what? Charging by direct contact or charging by what? By induction. Charging by induction. Charging by induction. So those are the three methods of charging a body, and we are going to start one method after the other one. So you have to stay tuned. You have to stay inside of what? Talk also. So let us start with the first method. The first one is, we say that let us teach you about charging a body. So charging a body by friction. By friction, by the method of friction. So say that two bodies can acquire electrostatic electro. Two bodies can acquire electrostatic charges. Two bodies can acquire electrostatic bodies, or can acquire electrostatic charges if they are rubbed together. If they are rubbed together. So charging a body by friction, we say that we are using the method of rubbing. The example here, this is friction. So we are rubbing a black body with a duster. Right? So that's the main supporting of rubbing. Okay? So since two bodies can acquire electrostatic charges if they are rubbed together. So it means that not everybody, so it means that there is a special property of those two bodies that acquire electrostatic what electrostatic is. So one should be a conductor and the other one should be insulator. Okay? So let us study in detail. And you see, this is the practical method, and even students can practice this method easily because the requirement, the material required are accessible to a student at any time and anywhere. Okay, so what does it mean? So say friction, because you say we are changing by friction. Friction simply is a force. Okay, it's a force between two surfaces. So it's a force between two surfaces. So friction is a force between two surfaces, between two surfaces that are sliding, across each other. Across each other. So friction, what is friction? Friction is a force between two surfaces that are sliding across each other. So when we want to charge a body by friction, it means that we're expecting these two bodies to be in friction. And because my hands and the page of the exercise book are of different material, so we say that this part is, it means that the palm of my hand becoming a surface, and this page becoming a surface. So it means that this is what we call it friction between two surfaces. And then so you find that either two bodies are moving, or one is static while the other one is dynamic. So that's why to say that are sliding across each other. So we have again another vocabulary called rubbing. Say rubbing. Tell me rubbing. So say the process of rubbing bodies. The process of rubbing bodies together. The process of rubbing bodies together cause electrons to be torn away from one body and be deposited on the other body. From one body and be deposited onto on the other body. Deposited onto on the other body. So the process of rubbing bodies together cause electrons to be torn away, it means to be transferred away from one body and deposited onto the other body. So the process of rubbing, it causes what? Electrons to be transferred or to be removed, okay, from one body and deposited on the other body. So torn away means that, so torn away, the meaning of the word torn away, it means that removed, to be removed. So you can use also the word what? Removed. If torn away, it's a difficult terminology for the form to remove it from one body and deposit it on the other body. So that's the meaning of rubbing, because remember, two bodies can acquire what? Electrostatic charges. Electrostatic charges if they are rubbed together. So rubbing is what we call the friction. And frictions, this is the force existing between two surfaces move over each other. And rubbing bodies together cause electrons to be removed from one body and was deposited into the other body, or deposited on the other thing, on the other body. So if that the process means that rubbing results in two states of what? Two states of bodies. A body that lost electrons, okay, or this is the body whose electrons are removed, and then you have a body whose electrons who receive extra electrons. Right? So you have a body whose electrons are removed. So we have a body whose electrons are removed, and also you have a body whose extra electrons are deposited. So that is the concept. So these two bodies, which have different states right now, have a special name. So from here we have another terminology which you got positively charged body. So you have two bodies. We are rubbing two bodies, but one is positively charged body after rubbing. This one is positively charged body, and the other one is negatively charged body. Okay, again, I heard in my heart the Holy Spirit telling me that your students today have a question on their dressing style. Why did you wear the white coat? So my students asking themselves that question, and the Holy Spirit gave me information in the headquarters of the OSO, or in the headquarters of Tanzania Online Secondary School in Square Packet, Olenjolai. And because I love my students, let me answer this question. Physics, it's experimental subject. So physics, we have to learn physics theoretically, and have to learn physics experimentally. So where do we do experiments of physics? We do experiments of physics in a special room called the laboratory. So in laboratories, as a way of the precautions or rules of laboratories, it means that we as physicists who are going to do an experiment in physics lab or in chemistry lab or in biology lab, we have to wear overcoat. And this will protect us against anything else that want to injure our bodies. So this is the image in your mind that one day you'll be a physicist. So how will you dress? So we'll be working in the physics labs or in the chemistry lab. So we'll be working in the chemical industrial lab of a particular industry. Then these are the kinds of dressing. But also you can even also establish your own laboratory, your own physics laboratory. You can, it's possible. And then you'll be doing research, publishing papers, figuring out different physics problems. So you can do. So this is the image to just indicate to you that this is the way a physicist has to think, and this is the way the physicist has to dress. Right? Practically. Okay. So we have a positively charged body. After charging or after rubbing the two bodies, we have a positively charged body, a negatively charged body. I will give you some examples soon. So say that what is a positively charged body? So a positively charged body charged body. We say that in the body, okay, is a body whose electrons are removed. The body whose electrons are removed. That's what we call the positively charged body. So if you have a body which before rubbing, it was rich with electrons, then after its electrons have been removed, we call it a positively charged body. Okay? Positively charged body. Then you have a negatively charged body. A negatively. Okay, so I should have to start with negatively charged body. Negatively charged body. So negatively charged body the body whose received the extra electrons. That's electrons from a positively charged body. That means of negatively charged body and positively charged body. After knowing that, okay, so it means after charging a body, we are going to end to have with what? It's a negatively charged body and positively, especially by friction, and positively charged body. So now I know that you asking yourself a questions, and this is the question, sir, can you give us an example of charging a body by using friction? The answer is yes, I can. And this is the example. First example. A plastic ball pen rubbed with hair or for plastic ball pen that you have so say electrons are torn away, so you say that electrons are torn away, means electrons are removed away from the hair, and are deposited on the surface of the ball pen. Are deposited on the surface of ball pen. So you say that a plastic ball pen, you know a plastic ball pen, even if you have a plastic ball pen, you can do this experiment. A plastic ball pen rubbed with hair of your electrons, so electrons accommodated in hair, okay, are removed from the hair and are deposited on the ball pen. If you've understood the concept of positively positively charged body and negative charged body. So between ball pen and hair, which one become positively and which one become negatively? That's a quiz. Think and tell me in the comment section before I give you the answer. So then right there. But I think according to my understanding, the hair become positively or the hair become negatively, while the ball pens become positive. So we have possibility of 40. Yes, both can become negatively, both can become positively. See? One is positively and which one is positive, the other one is negative. So which is positively and which is negative? So ask yourself that question and then tell in the comment section, please. So a plastic ball pen. So can we have a plastic? Do you have a plastic ball pen? Not every pen, but a plastic. Sentence say a plastic ball pen. A plastic ball pen. A good example of this plastic ball pen is big. So a plastic ball pen. So you say that's it. That's the example. Plastic ball pen, when it is rubbed with air, so it should contain also some air, a little bit longer than mine. So this is rubbing, right? Take a plastic ball pen and then do this experiment. So this is rubbing. This is a plastic ball pen. This is hair. So you say that when it has been rubbed with hair, then electrons are torn away from what? From the hair. So before rubbing or before charging the plastic ball pen by friction, my hair contain what? Electrons. Contain extra electrons, so many electrons compared to what hair. Why does it contain? Because my hair are good conductors of electricity, while the plastic ball pens is poor conductor of electricity, right? So it means that because my hair is a good conductor of electricity, it means that it contains charges, and these charges are what? Electrons, right? So now I'm rubbing what? The plastic ball pen and what? And the hair. So this is the frictional force because my head is stationary while the ball pens is moving randomly across what? The head, right? So you say that when you're rubbing this one, what will happen? So you say electrons are torn away, are removed from the hair. So the hair had so many electrons, now they have been removed into the surface of the ball pen, right? Because of the ball pen. So you say hence, so if that's the case, let me answer the quiz. Because the quiz I asked you that during hair ball pen, which one become positive and which one become negative, or both become positive or both become negative. Hence the hair. So hence the hair becomes positively charged. Becomes positively become positively what? Become positively charged. So hence the hair becomes positively charged. Why? The ball pen, while the ball pen becomes what? The ball pen becomes negatively charged. Negatively charged. So hence the hair becomes positively charged, while the ball pens become negatively charged. So that's the fact. So you can have a head. So these are the hair. And then say you have a plastic ball pen. So this is the ball pen. This is the ball pen. So here, ball pen. Okay, so that is a diagram. So you say that when you separate, so this is figure 3.1 A, so you can separate. So when you separate right now, you find that this is the plastic ball pen. So that's a plastic ball pen, and then just suppose that this is here. So that's here. So this is, we said, this was which is electrons. But right now it is possibly charged. Yes. So these are contain positive charge. Okay, and this becomes a negative charge. So this is figure 3.1. So the hairs become positive charged, while the ball pen become what? Ball pen become negatively charged. That's all about 30. So when you wrap the plastic ball pen to your hair, then you can take small pieces, very small pieces of what? Of paper, then put them on the table, and just to take a ball pen, which is rich in electrons, to take that advantage. Okay, so that's the fact. We have also another example. So now it's time for dictation. We have example 2 of charging a body by by induction, by friction. When a plastic rod is rubbed with a piece of cloth, electrons are transferred from the rod to the cloth. As a result, the rod becomes positively charged and the cloth becomes negatively charged. So a cloth is negatively charged right now. It means that the rod contains charge. Okay? Okay? So that, let me repeat. When a plastic rod is rubbed with a piece of cloth, electrons are transferred from the rod to the cloth. As a result, the rod becomes positively charged and the cloth becomes negatively charged. So you draw the diagrams of charging, the diagrams during the charging. Okay. Okay, so we are done with charging a body by friction. Do you remember the second method and third method? Second method was charging a body by direct contact, and the third method is charging a body by induction. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to teach you the second method, which is charging a body by direct contact. So charging a body by direct contact. So here we say that in static electricity, we have conductors and the insulators. Those are very important terminology. So the first one we call the conductor. And the first terminology we have. Say conductor. What is conductor? So a conductor is a substance which conducts electricity. So what is conductor? What is conductor? So we say that conductor is a substance which conducting electricity. By using free electrons. That's the good example. In order to teach you, because when we'll be teaching you about charging a body by using a direct contact, then we'll be using conductor and insulator. So that's why we want to define these vocabularies for the Form 2 students these vocabularies of conductor and the insulator. So we began with the first vocabulary, which is called the conductor. So what is conductor? Conductor is a substance which conducts electricity by using free electrons. That's the means of conductor. Then you have the second term, we call it insulator. Say insulator. What is insulator? That's the next question. Do you enjoy the beauty of Physics Form 2? What is insulator? These are the common terms that we'll be using them frequently when we're learning about the electricity for ordinary secondary education and also electricity for advanced secondary education. So what is insulator? Before I define insulator, the Holy Spirit reminding me that I forgot to mention examples of conductors, because I want my students to understand what I'm teaching them in a very simple language and just to connect what I'm teaching them with the daily environment where they live in. So examples. So in physics, examples of conductors. So we have so many conductors. Examples of conductors are, the first example is iron. The second example of conductor of electricity is copper. Right? So the first example is iron. Okay. Then the third example we call it constantan. Do you know iron? Constantan. Again, another conductor for electricity, away from iron, away from what? From copper, from constantants, and these are the elements. So what are the other examples of conductors? So So we have copper wire, we have iron wire, we have constant wire. Not sure if you have a silver wire. Not sure. I think so. Other conductors and etc. 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 So we can also add some more examples of conductors. Okay, so then we got the second thing, we got the insulator. So the fundamental question is, what is insulator? Insulator is a substance which does not conduct electricity. That's a simple definition. In physics, the term insulator so insulator is a substance which does not conduct electricity. Which does not conduct electricity. That means of insulator. Insulator is a substance which does not conduct electricity. So remember, why am I teaching about conductor and insulator? Because the second method of charging a body by direct contacting needs the concepts of what? Or uses what? Uses insulator and the conductor. So examples. Examples of photoinsulators are, the first example is plastic. So the plastic ball pens is insulator, plastic. The second one is glass. The glass is poor conductor of electricity. So plastic, glass, nylon, poor conductor of electricity. And then wood, a poor conductor of what? For electricity. We have some other material also, away from plastic, cloth, nylon, wood, was as other insulators. For plastic, paper, and then what else? Etc. Okay. So if that's the case, now you know the meaning of insulator, you know the meaning of what? Of conductor. So right now, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to teach you how to charge bodies by using the method of what? Of direct contact. Okay. So let us see this method now. We are still in the second method. If I charge the conductor, is made to touch another. Is made So if a charged conductor is made to touch another, one after the other one, if a charged conductor is made to touch one another conductor which is not charged, so touch another conductor, okay, so we say that if a charged conductor is made to touch another conductor, which is called a conductor B, which is not charged, which is not charged, which is not charged, then electrons flow so we say that if a charged conductor is made to touch another conductor which is not charged, then electrons flow so electrons flow between the conductors. Between the conductors. So if charged conductor is made to touch another conductor which is not charged, then electrons flow between the conductors. Okay. Then spread over the surfaces. Spread over the surfaces. Okay, so you see that if a charged conductor is made to touch another conductor which is not charged, then electrons flow between the conductors and spread over the surfaces. So if the two, this is just for example that we have so many surfaces in this plane. So if for example that I rub it on this surface, then electrons will be collected at that point where we have this guys on that surface, and will be spreading over. So as we say that, for example, if you are going to rub the hairs and these surfaces of the pen, then the charge will be what? For example, if you are using this method, but in the other method we are not rubbing. So in which the charges will be flowing from between these conductors and spread over the surface. So the surface of this pen, you find there's a spread of 40 of electrons. Okay? Spread of 40 of electrons. So again, we say that the two conductors in contact form what? Form a single body. From a single body. or conductor and the distribution of electron the distributions of electrons on its surface will depend on its surface will depend on the shape of conductor. So say the two conductors in contact, because you said if a charged conductor is made to touch, so here they touch, there's no friction, no movement. For example, if one is this one and the other one is my head, then they touch like this. But one is charged and the other one is not charged. Then electrons flow from between the conductors, means that from the charged conductor into the uncharged conductor, and spread over the surfaces of charged and uncharged. But when they touch each other, then you find that both are charged, so the charged conductors. So the two conductors in contact form a single body, or conductor, or single conductor, and the distribution of electrons on its surface will depend on the shape of the conductor. There are some shapes that there's a high distribution of electrons, the others is less distribution of electrons. So when the two conductors are separated, they will both have the same charge. So when the two conductors are separated, then they will have what? They'll have the same charge. So when the two conductors are separated, then they will have what? The same charge. So let me present it there. To prevent this information diagram on the diagram. Present this information on the diagram so that you may enjoy. So I believe that you enjoy the beauty of static electricity and you're enjoying the beauty of static electricity. So this is when the two conductors, so I say again. So after touching them together, the electrons distribute, as we say, there's a distribution of electrons on the surfaces. Then when these two conductors are separated, then they will have the same charge. So let me have a sketch or a drawing of this, of charging a body by direct contact. So this is the first body. So suppose that this is the charging body. So this is the charging body A. So then it's in contact. So it's in contact with charging body B. The charging body A and the body B. So this one, it was charged. For this is a charged. So it contains more electrons. And this one it is charged, it is less charged. So electrons will be transferred from body A to body B, as we say. But if the charged conductor, so this is the charged conductor. So A So this is charging what? Conductor. And this one is what? Uncharged conductor. Uncharged conductor. So touch another conductor which is not charged. Then the electrons flow. So there's electrons. So this is flow of what? Flow of electrons. Flow of electrons. Electrons flow between the conductors and spread over the surfaces. The two conductors in contact form a single body or conductors, and the distributions of electrons on the surface will depend on the shape of the conductor. So this is, we call it figure 3.2a. So this is during the charging, which is titled what? Charging the body by direct contact. Then we separate these two bodies. So as you said, that when the two conductors are separated, so they have the equal charge. How did the uncharged conductor being charged is becoming in touch with what? This body A. So body A can have the same number of electrons. And then this is what? This is body B. So this one, this we call the handle. So non-conducting handle. This is body B, and they have what? The same number of what? They have the same number of electrons. There's the same number of what? Of electrons. So this is what now, so say that charging conductor. Charging conductor. So this is what? Figure 3.2b. So you have 2 points to note, and then I'll leave the homework for you. So not the following points. Not before. First point to note is, we say that insulators cannot be charged. So insulators cannot be charged by direct contact. Unlike conductors, direct contacts. So insulators cannot be charged by direct contact. Cannot be charged by direct contact. Why? Cannot be charged by direct contact. Insulators cannot be charged by direct contact because the electrons are firmly held to the atoms of the insulator. So the method of direct contact actually limits the flow of electrons And these electrons should be the free electrons. So that's why you say that insulators cannot be charged by this method, because the electrons on the valence shells of the insulators are strongly held by the nuclear attractive force in such a way that there is a high excitation energy or ionization energy required, which is not available for such kind of business. Number 2. So conductors can only be charged, because some of the questions will ask you that conductors are not charged by the friction. Conductors can only be charged by friction. If they have an insulating handle, if they have an insulating handle, to stop the charge from flowing away. To stop the charge from flowing away. So conductors can only be charged by friction if they have an insulating handle. So if there's an insulating handle to stop electrons or to stop the charge from flowing away, then conductors can be charged by the method of 40, by the method of directing. By the method of 40 of friction. So this is example 2. It's homework, and this is homework 3. So the question asks you that. So with aid of diagram, explain briefly about charging the body by using the method of induction. So this is your work. Make sure you do the homework, and have make sure to submit the homework or your solutions of the homework in the comment section, please, of this video. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of session 3, which is titled as what in charging a body in static electricity. So I thank God who have created me in his own image and likeness. I give him all the glory and praise for everything that he has done to me. I thank you also for joining me from the beginnings of these sessions to this moment. I really appreciate your attention, your concentrations, but I'd like just to remind you a few things that I've been telling you frequently from the beginnings of this session to the end. The first thing is I remind you to subscribe as your permanent registration onto the also online institution. Secondly, I ask you that you can have a chance to like this video. How can you like? That's just to click the buttons of the like, and then we ask you also to share the links of this video to other students who Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, and Form 1 elsewhere in across the entire of Tanzania, across the entire country of Tanzania. So that's what we have insisted you in the beginning. Again, we like to insist you to interact with us. We have created so many videos right now in our YouTube channels. Also, more than 80 videos are there. But we find students, they go through our videos, but they don't want to interact. Interact as how you ask me questions physically. So use the comment section, just learn on writing writing your ideas, whether in English language or Israeli language. Please use the comment section there in order to submit your homework. Use the comment sections below there to give me feedback whether you've understood me or not. In such a way that I have to release you in order to go and find another teacher who you could understand. But another thing that we ask in the comment section, you may also use the comment section to interact with other students and ask you questions, and other students will answer your questions. That's another point that I want to make. So you have to keep enjoying the beauty of physics. This is Olenjolai from Tanzania, your national physics teacher in Form 2. I would like just to say this, the end of the today's session. Join me in the next session when we'll be doing the corrections of the homework. First of all, we will just collect the homework from the students who have already submitted, and then we check the question paper itself, and then we do the corrections. So you have to make sure that you are serious in this subject of 40 of physics, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4. All right? So the last point that I want to make is, in case you feel from your heart that you want to offer our God your freely thanksgiving, then you may send your freely thanksgiving to 0759 745331. Right? Make sure that you do it. And as your freely thanksgiving of any amounts will be received and will be paying the running cost, as I told you that we have a vision of recording more than 500 videos that will be training you about ordinary secondary education. And you can have them free of charge. Again, we have our library that we call the Tanzania Online Ordinary Library. So Tanzania Online Ordinary Library. And in this library today we have three sample books. Three sample books that you can order from now. So you can order these three books. These three physics books. 2 physics books that you have today on the spot. Okay, so it means you can order first of all the syllabus in our online school. Okay, and then this one costs only 15,000 instead of 17 or 20 in some of the local stationaries. So order this book and then we can send to you in all the 61 regions of Tanzania. Okay, again you need these books which you call the Physics Form 1 and Form 2 students book. You can just pay an offering of 4 to 15,000. Then you can have this book that we'll be using in Physics Form 3 and Physics Form 2, Form 4. And it's the only book that has been written by following the syllabus of the United Republic of Tanzania. So then you can order the package. But against that, we know I can order the package like these ones, or you can increase, or you can add up some more chemistry books that will be showing you step to step. But today, remember that I showed you about 30 physics, Forms 1 and 2 students books. Right? And as I present to you about 30 Form 2 physics review, problems and solutions, 2003 to 2019. Again, this one, we say physics syllabus for ordinary secondary education. So you can order this package. Again, this is the Form 2 physics review. It contains past papers of Nectar Form 2. So you can order this book also with a very minimum price of only 8,000 that you can order this book and we can ship it to you. So 8,000, okay, 8,000. This is 17,000. No, this is, yes, 17 or 15. Okay, this is 15,000. Then this is 13,000. So this is 13,000. 13,000, 15,000. And then this one, the syllabus, is what? The price of physics syllabus. So it is 13,000. 15,000, you can order it, you have it. 13,000, then 15,000. And these are the sample books. So write your demand about any books that you want. We'll find it in a local store or in our neighbor shops, and then we'll send it to you. So keep enjoying the beauty of advancing physics and stay tuned until we meet. May God bless you and protect you in your studies. May God bless you and protect you in every kind of the danger. May God just shine his face upon you for the rest of your lives and give you a sponsor And may God protect you until we meet in the next session. This is Olenjolai.
Mungu ibariki